this is Chuck from Monocoque Metalworks. It's Wednesday afternoon. We did a couple custom slash special jobs today and I wanted to show them to you. You know, I was at Watkins Glen this past weekend and a customer called me this summer and asked me to make them the vent that goes on a boot lid for racing like the lightweights had, but in steel, so he could spot weld it into his factory steel boot lid. So I'm working on that. I'm not done, but I've got the back piece made. Some of you may recognize this, and Brent will just come up here. You can see I've got the boot lid is marked. This is where it goes, and so you would cut this out as a hole, and then this would go in here like this, and then there's a piece that wraps around and goes on there like that. And if you go back to the pictures I posted over the weekend, you can see that on the Donovan number 62 racer. Now, why do they put that vent in there? Two reasons. On the racers, when they go high speed, they don't want air pressure to build up under the car, so they either on 3/8 take the inspection plate off above the IRS and then have this here, or I guess on a 4.2 you would cut that out. But they also put brake ducts under the car, which the V12s had factory, and they duct air up onto and across the rotors, and it comes out that top plate, and then it comes right out the boot lid. So that's that. In a couple more days, I'll show you the finished product. Hey, this is Chuck from Monocoque Metalworks. It's a nice Friday afternoon, end of September. You can see we've got the windows open because we don't have a humidity problem at the moment. And we're getting ready to get out of here, but before we did, I wanted to show you this. A couple weeks ago, we made this lightweight E-type style racing vent for the rear deck lid or boot lid. We made this up in steel for a customer, and after I got it done and sent him some pictures, talked to him a little bit, and he said, well, somebody's got to put it in for me. You guys might as well do it. So we took that job. I was anxious to do that. That worked out pretty well. I'm actually kind of blown away with how well this turned out. Made me a little nervous about getting the hole just right and everything. So we provided him with a used deck lid that was in good shape. It is from a 4.2, so it's got, and his car is a 4.2, so it says, you know, Jaguar E-Type 4.2. Actually, it says E-Type Jaguar 4.2. The 3/8 only say Jaguar. It had holes here for the luggage rack, but there were 4 holes. The other 2 were in the spot we cut out. So it was a good use for a boot lid that had a luggage rack on it. There was a big thing on Facebook a few weeks ago about the proper luggage rack for an E-Type. Usually the holes are right down here and up here because that's where you've got the strength. This actually had a non-correct luggage rack on it. But anyway, we cut the hole here. One of the reasons that we did it instead of him was that we figured out you had to unskin this, cut the hole, put this in from the bottom, and then reskin it. And so we did that. I actually have a special little tool that I made about 10 years ago. You can zoom in on this. This was some kind of pair of electrical pliers, and I ground it down to make this little shape so that I can go in here like this and squeeze like that, and then I'll yank this up and work my way around. Now, it usually wrinkles this all up, kinks it, kind of bends it, but when you reskin it and hammer it down, it will straighten all that out. So we took these apart. Now first, we stripped it, had a bunch of layers of paint on it. We stripped it all by hand with chemicals, razor blades, Scotch Brite pads. You cannot blast a deck lid. It will warp it. And they've got this wet blasting and all now, which, you know, probably wouldn't warp it, but you will pack this all full of sand. So on a deck lid, you got to bite the bullet and strip it by hand. So we did that. We cleaned it all up. It's primed with red oxide inside and out. Then we used our spot welder to spot weld this in. And of course, I measured this all off, made sure they were equidistant. We used our standard tongs for that, and then we had to put in a set of special long tongs, which took some time to get right in here. But you can see it's all set up. It had some dents here. Like I said, it welded up these 2 holes. Whoever worked on it in the past really got crazy on it with a grinder in a few spots. And see down here. And so luckily that wasn't too bad, and I was able to kind of scuff it down. I hit it with a shrinking disc, and so she's looking real good. So that's that project. Turned out great. If you need some work like this, or you want one of these vents, or anything, give us a ring. Have a great weekend.